Star Wars Squadrons is about to receive a massive influx of new players due to the game dropping on the EA Play Game Pass come March 18th. That means millions of players who might not have picked up this game before will be able to try it out risk-free for the very first time. And I wanted to do something special for all these fresh faces to give them a good head start in this very fun but potentially very challenging video game. Oh, what's up you guys? I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre. And I'm bringing to you a series of videos based on an interview that I recently had with FENCAR, a professional Star Wars Squadrons player. In this first video, we're going to be discussing the kind of order of operations when it comes to skills that you should be learning in Star Wars Squadrons. FENCAR, go ahead and introduce yourself, who you are in relation to Star Wars Squadrons, and why people might want to care about what you have to say.
Hi, I'm FENCAR. I am the primary objective player for Splinter Squadron. Splinter Squadron won the Calrissian Cup Winter Major, placed top 4 in the Winter Minor, and won Operation Ace. We've been at the forefront of content creation for Twitch and YouTube both. I make daily guides on high-level squadrons techs and strategies. My squad leader, Scout Waka, streams on Twitch daily, streaming interstellar gameplay. I also run a coaching program for any who are interested.
Let's dive into what a brand new player might want to do. What are the most important skills for players to be learning in order to level up? Like in terms of before you learn something like advanced boost gasping, which I'm currently working on, what should you be doing before that?
The number one thing is boost skipping. Boost skipping is always good. It's the most efficient way to shoot cruisers is to have power on engines while you're flying in, put power on weapons, and then boost gasp on the way out while you fully overcharge your lasers in like an X-Wing. Then put your power back to engines and fly in while shooting. And just doing that in loops, power on engines while you shoot, power on weapons while you boost skip away, is very, 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 very powerful. As well as on flagship assault, while just charging your engines and then boost skipping to recharge your shields. Most easily the most important movement tech, more so than boost gasping.
Is there any something that would lead up to boost gasping? Because some people starting off, the idea of even basic drifting is kind of like they're trying to get used to that. You have basic drifting, and then there's learning that dead drift is a function, a thing that you can do, because the game never actually explains that is a function that you can do.
I think you should make a YouTube guide on that.
Well, funny enough, I actually have.
You should then, learning to drift at all is the first thing, and then boost skipping is the next step after that. Learning to drift is extremely simple. You tap the boost button, and then you press and hold the boost button. The sooner you do it, the more efficient it is.
So talking about that one, on players who have controllers, you're going to start off, your boost is going to be on the click of your left stick, but a lot of players move that away. When did you actually first reconfigure your controls?
Yep, so I was watching Avenger 1 stream, and I was lucky enough to see that, he was talking about remapping boost to left trigger. So I was like, all right, this makes a lot of sense. I did it. And what that does for you is it lets you use your thumb instead of on the left stick to boost and drift. It lets you use your thumb for power management while you're boosting and drifting. It's easily the most important control change to make. You could do only that controller scheme change, and you would be able to get to Galactic Ace with those kinds of controls.
Fantastic. So you've gotten boost skipping. The next step beyond that would be boost gasping, correct?
Yep, I have a video guide on that. It's only slightly more complicated than boost skipping, but it takes a little bit more timing and button skill. It's all about cadence and rhythm. It's not fast, it's not a difficult set of inputs, it just takes a good idea of why you're doing it and how you're doing it. And so the way it works is that after you start drifting or after you cancel a boost, there is about a 3/4 second period where your boost will neither decay or regenerate. Normally, if you take your power out of engines while you have boost energy, it goes away, right? It disappears. If you take your power out of engines while you're boosting, and then you keep it out of engines, like you keep it in weapons for that 3/4 of a second. You will extend your dead drift, you will charge your weapons more, and then at the instant that 3/4 of a second is up, you put your power back in engines. Your drift continues, you stay above maximum speed, and then you start your boost again, putting your power back to weapons at the exact same time, and you repeat. That's what boost gasping is, and I have a full guide detailing exactly how to do boost gasping with exercises and breaking that whole process that I just spoke about down into very digestible chunks.
Yes, I actually watched that video. It's fantastic. I was practicing a whole bunch. What are you working on improving right now? Because I see you experimenting with those burst lasers. I saw you take home the victory for the Calrissian Cup, landing the final shots on the Star Destroyer with those burst lasers. It was an awesome, incredible finish. When did you start actually dinking around with that?
So the plasma's gun has been overlooked by a lot of the player base because it's very difficult to use. It is short range, very short effective range. Barely 100 meters is the range at which it does max damage, and it does half of that at 300 meters. Very, very, very short. But the reason it's powerful is because it's high burst damage when it's in, and it has really, really high damage per second. It's about 900 to 1,000 compared to burst cannons, about 450 to 500 on an X-Wing. Extremely, extremely fast damage. Faster than is possible with any other weapon, with any other loadout, except maybe the Mean Beam Proton Bomb Bomber. So I started using that because in competition, you don't have a lot of time, but you might have a lot of space depending on what the other team is trying to do. If they're trying to flip the phase by killing AI pets and killing the Raider, then that means you have a lot of space, but not a lot of time. And that makes the plasma gun very powerful. So although you take 50% increased damage, you do twice as much damage for the time that you're in. And especially if you're not getting shot at all, then plasma is easily the quickest way to destroy shield generators. And that was actually the difference, what made destroying the both shield generators possible. We wouldn't have gotten both of them otherwise.
And that's another big thing in terms of like just kind of advancing your own level of play is finding more people to play with. So where do you suggest people go to start squadding up and potentially finding more people to play?
So if you want to find a group of players to play with, the quickest way is to go into the Star Wars Squadrons Discord, look for the clan recruitment, and there's dozens and dozens of Discords. The best ones, in my opinion, are the Gray Squadron Discord, the Rancor, and probably, depending on your time zone, Orange Squadron is also a pretty neat one to dip your toes into.
Yeah, I definitely picked up some players from my own Troublemaker Squadron from Orange Squadron Discord, so I definitely brought some people over from there. Awesome, fantastic. Do you have any parting words, any final advice for people who are listening?
Have fun. Spend 5 minutes in practice mode every day to hone your skills. Focused practice is more important than a lot of practice. A lot of the professionals on my team only have a couple of hours to practice, only a couple of days of the week. But by doing very focused practice on their mechanics, are able to advance far more quickly than just playing a lot of fleet battles. So even 5 minutes of practice a day puts you far and above 50%, 60% of the player base.
I gotta say, that bit right there you just said about the fact that you and your team, some of you guys only have a couple of hours, a few days a week to play, that's honestly kind of empowering because that's about as much time as I have to put in and play. So thank you so much for your time, FENCAR. Appreciate you for coming down for this interview, and hope to talk to you again soon here, man.
Have a good one, guys. I hope to see lots and lots of better players on the ladder.
Remember, this is just one part of a massive interview that I got to do with FENCAR. We also discussed which components you should get first on both New Republic and Imperial Starfighters, and I also got to hang out for an hour-long training session working on my skills. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see those videos. In the meantime, I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre, and I'm out.